Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and it's just me and Susan today because all the other guys don't like watching old movies, apparently. But we won't go into that. We are talking a Universal classic movie, a classic monster movie, starring Boris Karloff, or back then, as they credit him as Karloff the Uncanny. We are talking The Mummy from 1932. So we'll go straight into opening thoughts, Susan. What's your opening thought of this movie?
Well, I can see where the reboot got its chops from. It
Yep.
it is pretty much exactly the same movie,
Mm.
just remade. I really love it. I thought that it was really intriguing. It's not as action packed, but it's really dramatic. Like that's what it is. It's not action movie, but like the reboot is really action oriented. This one is really dramatic, and it has uh, the the scroll. It's got Imhotep and uh, what's her name? Uh, Ashir. I cannot remember her name now. Anyway, the his paramour from you know the ancient Egypt, and it also has a, a couple of archaeologists, and they have a dig, but it's not really a dig. It's more like just, oh, we found a door, and let's go down the door.
Let's go. There's a seal on the door.
There's not a heck of a lot of archaeology involved.
No.
No nerds with like little clipboards writing notes. There wasn't. Yeah. So anyway, fun. It was beautiful though. I mean, and you know the the lead actress was, man, she was amazing. Zeta Johan or whatever.
Yeah.
Beautiful, striking eyes. I mean, you got to say that with Karloff and Zeta, like the whole thing is all about the eyes. Oh my gosh, what great eyes they had. And and then there was the Mullers and the, what's it called, the uh it's like the Wheelies, the Wemples. The Wemples are a family of archaeologists. The father dug up the mummy and the scroll in the 1912s, and then in 1932 the son digs up the his bride and everything else, and uh,
It,
Imhotep helps him out and helps to release.
sort of, yeah.
And he has this. Yeah, he's established a palace in Cairo, and he's just gathered all of his belongings, and he's put up the beautiful things. He's just it's lovely.
Mm.
Ancient Egypt is lovely. Anyway, and that's what she says. That's what Helen says. And so, yeah, that's really my opening thoughts on this movie. Over to you, Lee.
Well, this was this was 1932, so this was off the back of Frankenstein, wasn't it? Because that was 31, I think it was. And Karloff was the big name. So to give him the lead in The Mummy, as the Mummy, Imhotep, brilliantly cast. But if you notice, I mean, I've seen a documentary about this, and he was wrapped in bandages head to foot, and it took hours for him to do this, and then do the makeup on the hands and the face. But in the movie, they only show him head to his arms.
Oh,
So all that time they were banned, and they just shot that bit because that's all you see of the mummy, really, isn't it? When he's in the casket before he comes and his eyes open, you don't see the mummy wandering about because then he sort of rejuvenates into Imhotep, walking about. Um,
true.
so all that, not pain, but just laid about getting bandaged up all the time they were filming. Poor old Karloff. But as you said, it's the eyes, Karloff's eyes, where he's in the sarcophagus, stood up there, and his eyes just slowly open. Whoa, just that them actions, you couldn't understand why he was one of the top actors of his day. But brilliant. I mean, as the mummy, he didn't say much, but as Imhotep, it's just his soft, gentle voice. And I don't know if you noticed, he didn't move that much as Imhotep. It was just he stood there staring at people, talking. He wasn't moving that much. It was all in his voice,
It was.
which is amazing. And you can see that this, as you say, it's not action. It's sort of a love story, really, isn't it? Through the ages, um, with the lead actress playing the reincarnated princess or whatever she was called, and also the lead actress whose name escapes me. Was it Zeta
Zeta
Johann?
Johann.
Johann believed in all that. She believed in the supernatural. She believed in reincarnation. So she put her heart and soul into this role.
Oh,
So yeah, I mean, this is her most famous role. But she did make other movies, but she really did believe in all that sort of thing. Um, it's just it's a damn good movie. It doesn't drag. It's not that long, was it? 70 odd minutes at the most. Um, it's I mean, any movie with Karloff from from his Frankenstein days up to his later days, the Raven and uh, what was it, the Mad Monster Party where he narrated it was just brilliant. But this is an iconic role. I mean, he only played the mummy once. I mean, there was 5 sequels to this movie, but he was the only one in this movie because it was a different actor and a different mummy character in the other movies. So, but you just got the feel of it, really did, of Egypt, and I mean the flashbacks as well.
yeah.
It was so good, where we was getting bound, and it was just brilliant. Any favourite parts for you?
Um, well, yeah, I love the bit in the doctor's quarters, or where she goes after she goes out and walks around for a little bit. She is in this. She is in this office, and her paramour, her modern paramour, Frank Wemple, is falling in love with her, and but yet from across the city, Imhotep is calling to the person that she is inside,
Mm.
and the one that she looked just like his bride, and so in that moment you just saw, I mean, that was so well acted and so beautifully timed, and it it was really a dramatic moment, and it was all about, you're right about that, it was all about that love triangle between ancient Egypt, modern modern Egypt, and this this wonderful lady, Helen Grosvenor, and wow, it was, and I didn't realize that Zeta actually, was believing in that, but you could kind of tell there was a lot of that. Uh, I mean, her integrity as an actress was immense. I thought it
Yeah,
was beautiful, and her decisions on how she would react was. I mean, you could see those moments too. In the Prince Imhotep's modern abode with the. I mean, she didn't pull away from him when he was going to show her all the stuff from their past and from the water. His imaging pool.
mm.
His pensive, if you would mind a Harry Potter reference, had to. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, that was that was beautiful. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. Those are my favorite moments. And yours?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw. I mean, I didn't realize the similarity with this movie and another movie until I watched the documentary on the DVD. Um, the scriptwriter was also the scriptwriter on Dracula, of Bela Lugosi Dracula.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and it was pointed out uh, what the scriptwriter had done was sort of just readapt or jiggle this and jiggle that away for sort of same sort of story. The reincarnation of his love from back. Dracula was in love with Mina, wasn't he? Who he believed to be his princess from years ago.
Yes.
There was also there was wedding in this movie, what was sort of slightly changed from the Dracula wedding, but also the crucifix was changed to the little symbol of the was it
ISIS.
ISIS. There was little things like that, and I think when I was sat watching the documentary, wow, yeah, all he's done is he's tweaked this here, he's tweaked that there.
Oh,
it's Dracula in bandages.
oh, I didn't. Wow,
But
what a trip.
but if you didn't know that, it's just a totally different movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's but for me, yeah, I did like the way he could use his power across space, across distance with his magic pool. Just that was so good. And for me, it was just the stillness of Karloff, his voice, and the way it's just his eyes at the camera, just does it, does it for me. The only niggle I did have about it was I wish we got a bit more of the mummy. Not just just not that. Then you just saw the hand, didn't you, go across, and then that was it. The rest of it was Imhotep. But yeah, it's such. I mean, what is this now? It's about 88-year-old. This movie,
yeah.
so it still stands up. Stands up today. In my opinion, with all this modern stuff out now, but you go back to the originals, it's still so enjoyable to watch. So,
I agree.
and you can understand why Universal went down the route of the Universal monster route. And they made such classic movies with the monsters, and the Mummy's up there. So, yeah, enjoyable to sit down and watch this one. So, anything else you'd like to say about the Mummy?
Just a moment.
Oh,
Okay. The scrolls were the scrolls of Thoth,
mm-hmm.
and um, hang on. Um, let me see something. Trying to figure out what her name is.
Whose
Oh,
name?
Anaxun Amun. Anaxun Amun.
Ah, right.
And I was, I mean, she's a temple, she's a princess. She's the pharaoh's daughter, but she's loved by a common man, a priest.
Yeah.
And it's across time and space, and yeah, that is, I mean, that just makes love an eternal uh, reality, and that's fun.
Yeah.
And the ancient Egyptian, I love how in both this one and the reboot, there is like a real attempt to do some speaking in ancient Egyptian.
Mm.
So that's fun too, because you know that's a way dead language. It's like Klingon. It's you got to make it all up. You know, that's a fun thing. And then the other thing is the you just got to feel for Imhotep because he was buried alive.
Yeah.
He wasn't killed and then mummified. He was buried alive, and he became a mummy the old-fashioned way, the really long, you know, not embalmed or anything. You just had to get there.
Yeah. That must have been hell of a thing to go through. Well,
Yeah, you
I
gotta
won't. I
pay
won't.
for it.
Yeah, I won't wish it on anybody.
What you do for love, the things you do for love. Anyway,
I mean, going back to the scenes of showing the path, when he was telling the story of of her and him in the past, where the was it the people who dug the grave was killed, the soldiers what killed the grave diggers was killed to keep it all quiet. It was like a domino effect. We'll kill
yeah.
these to keep them quiet. We've got to kill the soldiers to keep them quiet about this. It was just, and mostly did happen.
Wow.
It's for me. It's still it's an astounding movie for its age. And so, anything else you'd like to say before we go on to
No,
final sentence?
this is
No.
your final sand score. I really loved it. I'm glad we watched it.
Yeah, well,
And I'm gonna
me
watch
and you did. Yeah, me and you did watch it.
I'm gonna watch the whole modern series now, starting with like the Mummy and right straight through to all the Scorpion Kings.
Well, I won't go as far as
I
the Scorpion.
you know, I have them all, and I'm gonna this is just inspiring that.
So, what's your
So
final sentence score, Susan?
so I will give this I'll give this 9 scrolls of thought out of 10.
Well, there you go. For me, I would just say one niggler for me is not enough of Karloff as the Mummy. It's seen as the movie is called The Mummy. So it's going to get 9 scarab beetles out of 10.
Oh dear, you brought
Oh
the
dear.
modern one.
So that's our little review of the Universal classic, The Mummy from 1932. You guys out there, if you enjoyed what we do and watching what we do, and you'd like to get involved, message me. I will try and get you on there. We're all over social media: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're all over the place. I'm talking to YouTube. If you subscribe to our channel, please press the bell button and you'll get a ding every time we put a video up. So I think we've come to the end of this review now, Susan. So would you like to say goodbye in old ancient Egyptian?
Oh,
That was Klingon.
close enough.